Hello and welcome to What Would You Do, Really? My name is Ashley Bay. I'm your host tonight, and this is my mom, one of the guests, Lori, and this is my boyfriend, Casey, my other guest tonight. And we are going to be talking about exploring how our emotions influence our logic or decision making. Um, okay, so we're often told that we need to be logical and quit being emotional when we're told to make a decision. And that's actually wrong because our emotions can often be really good indicators of what decision needs to be made, especially when we're at a moderate level of emotion. So if we're pretty even if it's kind of like passionate about something, but you're pretty moderately emotional, it's a good time to make a decision because it's probably being influenced by your morals and your values and things that matter to you.
Right.
When you're really emotional, that's a really bad time to make decisions. You're usually not going to make the best decision.
Right.
And also, if you're like in a sedated state of mind or whatever it is that makes you lack emotions, also not a good time to make decisions because you usually won't make decisions that you care about.
Right.
Um, so what's really interesting is that emotions can both help or hurt us when it comes to making those decisions, depending on where we're at emotionally. It's kind of like how when you're in a good mood and you go driving out in traffic, what happens when you're in a good mood?
Yeah.
Someone cuts you off and you're like,
Whatever. Yeah.
but if you're in a bad mood that day and someone cuts you off, what happens?
Right.
So scream fest.
Yeah,
Scream fest.
exactly. So like, and you might flip them off, right?
Yeah.
But like, you wouldn't flip someone off when you're in a good mood.
Right.
So our emotions influence our decisions. And if we're in a moderate mood that day, we might be like, wow, what a jerk, but we didn't do anything about it.
Right.
So,
Right.
um, so we don't use just logic to make decisions or feel like we'll sometimes not even current feelings, we'll use what we think we're going to feel in the future to guide our decisions. So if we are thinking about a decision we have to make but we feel like we might feel guilty about it later, that might influence if we make that decision or not. Or if we think of a decision and how painful it's going to be after, then we might not make that decision. It's going to influence what we decide to do.
Yeah.
So in a way, emotions give meaning to our decisions. So, okay. Here is the question I have for you guys tonight. The reason why we're here. So this is called the trolley dilemma. So I just want you to listen. I'm going to give you a scenario and then I want you to answer honestly, no overthinking, just your instincts. Okay. Imagine there's a runway train heading down a track. On that track, there are 5 people tied up who can't move. You're standing next to a lever, and if you do nothing, the train will continue on its path and kill all 5 of those people. But if you pull the lever, you can redirect the train onto a different track where there's only one person tied up. So your choice is do nothing and 5 people die, or pull the lever and one person dies instead. What do you do?
Well, that's a hard one, but my first instinct would be to pull the lever and save the 5 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your instinct?
I pull the lever also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what made you choose that?
Well, because it's 5 lives, 5 families, five people compared to one.
Yeah.
But I mean, all of the lives are worth something, but I think I'd rather save 5 families' heartache than one family. That's still terrible, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
no? Okay. So do you feel like that's a more logical or emotional response?
emotional, logical, and emotional.
Both.
Yeah.
What about you? What made you choose?
Kind of the same thing. I just feel like, if one person, and the other five could have families, the one person can have families. But it just, yeah, it's a lot of people involved in the five. Also, I don't know. I feel like if you pull the lever, maybe you have time to save that one person.
Oh, maybe so.
Oh, interesting.
Didn't think
It was-
about
that's
that.
kind of
That's
like a
actually
thought
that is
process.
that's actually an interesting
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
Didn't think about that.
I like that.
Yeah.
But okay, I have another question for you then. Would your answer change if the one person on the track was someone you knew? So you could either save 5 strangers, but you have to kill someone you know, or you do nothing and you save the person you know.
I'd save the person I know.
Same. Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay.
Sorry, strangers.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like a pretty extreme scenario that you'd probably never be in, but it gets you really thinking about what choices you would make, right?
Right.
So now let's talk about some ones that you might actually face in real life.
Okay.
Scenario one, you find out that your close friend's partner is cheating on you. Do you tell your friend and risk hurting their feelings, or do you stay out of it?
I've had this. I've had this happen with two friends actually.
Okay, what'd you do?
I didn't tell them.
You didn't tell them.
I
Okay.
didn't. I didn't want them to go through the heartache. I probably should have told them, but I didn't. But I feel bad now. I should have told them.
Would it be different back then if it had been a family member?
Well, yeah, I guess so. But
You still might save their feelings instead of.
yeah,
Okay, what about you?
No, I feel like that's a tricky situation because you tell the person and they're either gonna like this is their partner you're talking about, so they're either gonna believe you or like I've seen it in
Or be mad at you.
scenarios where they think you're just making something up. You don't like their partner, so now you're trying to cause rifts between them,
That's a valid part. So
and,
what
and
would
so
you
they.
choose?
I would probably also not tell them because I feel like in that scenario like the truth will always find its way out
it's true.
anyway.
It's
And
gonna.
what if
Yep.
it was a family member? What if you knew your brother's girlfriend was cheating on
I would probably tell my brother. I'd be like, hey, like, but I've also seen that scenario too where like your family still doesn't believe you. So,
Mm.
but I would probably tell my brother because it's like obviously it's yeah
Family.
family.
you? Okay, we
Yeah.
got a couple more to get through. So
Okay.
what you're offered a high paying job. This one might be a little easier. You're offered a high paying job that would completely change your life, but the company's practices go against your own values. Would you take the job?
It depends on how extreme those values are, but I would
That's a fair assessment. Yeah.
exactly
How bad are
because
these values? that
right.
you're-
I wouldn't like commit all these crimes that are gonna put me in jail, but I would probably choose some more high paying job if they were severe.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
And for you?
Same. I think a lot would depend on what values they're going against, but I think if it was within reason, I would definitely take the higher paying
So
job.
what if the scenario was it's a really high paying job, but you know that they use slave labor in other countries to make their products?
That would be a hard one. If they were using
Yeah.
children as slave labor,
If they were using children, that would be tough.
that would be a
That'd be
really
tough. I mean,
tough
slave labor,
call.
period. Like, if you knew for a fact they were doing that, I probably wouldn't work for that company. You just don't want your name slandered around that.
Yeah, associated with that crap.
Okay, so now a loved one asks you for, and I think this is a hard one, but I don't know. Okay, a loved one asks you for your honest opinion about something, their appearance, a life decision they have to make, something like that. But the truth is going to hurt them. Do you tell them the truth or do you lie to them?
I would probably tell them the truth.
I would tell them the truth.
Yeah. I think that's such a hard situation to be in, and I've been in a situation before where I didn't tell the person the truth, and later when they realized that I hadn't, but I had seen like they were really hurt, and
Yeah.
I was like, that sucked.
Yeah.
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 So you accidentally hit a parked car.
Oh,
Moms. No one saw you, and the damage is minor. Do you leave a note or do you drive away?
I drive
I've
away.
I've done both. Driven away, and it's I guess how severe the damage was, but I've done both.
So do you feel like you answer most of your questions in a logical way, an emotional way, or both?
Both.
Okay.
I think definitely more like the side of emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, especially with those scenarios, like I think it's hard to not have emotion involved.
I
in
think
something
emotion
like that.
guides them, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And of course, like you said, it super depends on the situation. Like,
exactly.
what
Yeah.
values are they pressing against? Are they big ones to mine? Like, or is it something I can
Right.
deal with? Yeah.
Right, exactly.
So basically, the whole point of that was just to get you thinking about how emotions can bias us. They can make us rely on shortcuts or beliefs that we have, weak arguments, or even remember things inaccurately. And make poor decisions, as well as like our morals can guide our decisions as well. And
Right.
so in the scenario, the trolley scenario that you guys didn't get to see the video, but it's an actual experiment they did, and it was so interesting to watch because they did this in real life.
Right.
People really thought there was a train coming. They were put in that situation.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was shown at the end that they were going to be okay, the people were going to be okay before the train hit, so like it didn't completely traumatize them, you know.
Yeah.
But in the moment, a lot of the people were literally stuck in this limbo of not knowing what to make a decision, and all of them answered that they couldn't do it because of the guilt that they'd have afterwards. So yeah, just like what we think we're gonna feel later has a lot to do with what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
And a lot of them said that they didn't know what the other people around them would think. So like
Yeah.
we tend to like base our decisions on
And
like
what
who's
people might
around
think of
us
you.
or who will know. So like is someone else going to know about this? Like the parked car thing. A lot of
Right.
people would say they would leave it away because no
Right.
one else knows
Nobody
about it.
knows,
Yeah.
But if everyone else is going to know about it, all of a sudden we care what our decisions are.
Right.
So
Right,
anyway,
for sure.
just interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
very-
Thank you
very
guys
interesting.
for coming on my podcast. Till
Yep.
next
Thank
time.
you.
Yep. Thank you.